Klaus Schwab now. Putting your consciousness in a computer. That remember we went to see that Johnny Depp movie. All right, so let's see if we on yet. To the channel. Okay, here we go. Okay. Truman Carver Peace in War Times. We back with the second video called Malachi Z. York, the Scroll of Eyes, Lies in parentheses. We about to get deeper into this student teacher of the Kabbalah, and he been spreading these lies for decades. And it's time to expose all things. All right, so of course we're gonna start again with the memorandum. Then I'll let the Kens introduce themselves. All right, so let's do this.
To reason. The following memorandum is the conversation each and every new Nibu of the Ethiopian race should have with New Pu at least once a day, and the name New Pu should be pronounced in mind, whisper, or out loud in the numbers order given and before the conversation starts. The numbers order given creates two ends as you read the name, and the two ends made by reading and pronouncing the name New Pu 9 times stand for New Pu and New. New Pu, 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 New Pu. Remember the promise and covenant with your messenger, and also writer, Afru Unu, and all those who learn, accept, and practice positive nature knowledge and the laws of nature, as explained and described by Nun, your active science of all the worlds. Your promise and also covenant having been duly made are binding as following: economic well-being and liberation of the Ethiopian race, mentally, spiritually, and also physically, because it is the time and cycle for this action for your posterity, the Ethiopian race, and because we all, meaning Ripu, Gipu, and Sipu and all adherents dedicate and obligate the rest of our lives to sound right reason. Who is New Pu? Positive nature knowledge, the laws of nature, also truth, equality, justice and practicing rightness, which is known to the best of our knowledge and also abilities. The time for the Savior has passed. It is now time for the mental resurrection, liberation, justice, judgment, settlement, and balance for all peoples on planet Earth, as promised by the forces of nature and predicted by the ancients and sages of antiquity. New Pu, please cause it to be.
All right. All right, we back. All right, Kens, go ahead and introduce yourselves so we can get to the proceeding.
All right, true peace, all Kens and friends. I'm Anup Bunu Nupu. I am a member of the Ethiopian, African, as well as the woolly-haired race. I'm also a proud representative of Nunu Nupu, given to us by our great and noble messenger, Afro Unu Nupu. Once again, I know it's going to be a powerful message that will be relayed to the people. So I'm just sitting back and receiving the revelation that is coming from Tarkinu. And just remember, Kens, that the greatest gift that you can give to another kin or friend is liberation, information / knowledge. Okay, so true peace, and I hope that you all enjoy and absorb the sunlight known as knowledge. True peace.
True peace, Kens and friends. This is New Karo Nupu here, absorbing the information, building with our noble Kens by way of Afro Uno. This information coming to us at a great time, and we're here to receive what's being given. True peace.
Nebo, I don't know if having the same kind of problem, but you're not muted on our end. So we'll just move on and we'll just do the little phone thing at the end of it, so we don't waste no more time. All right. So we'll come back to the can. Let me know if y'all can see.
Yes, I can see.
All right. All right. The scroll of eyes is religious and come from the Kabbalah. All right. Written by Nepetu Tarkinu Nupu. Nupu meant year 99, Ethiopian year 63, 11/12/2025. The time to Friday, April 13th, 2029 is 3 years, 5 months, 0 days, 41 months, 178 weeks, 1,248 days, 29,944 hours, 1,796,665 minutes, 107,799,931 seconds. All right. It's the count up. All right. So what we're going to be doing is breaking down this costume. All right. And let everybody know that this is not what they've been thinking. So up here you got the Crystal City, which you believe in the Book of Revelation. So you got to remember, religion is a spell. Everything that York been delivering has been religious.
Uh-oh.
All right. Ain't nothing he gave straight out. Even with nature knowledge, he corrupted all things. All right. So we finna break down this nasty Negro Damas. Undercover black kabbalist. All right. This is it. All right. Todd, question to ChatGPT. Can you identify what Mr. York is showing here? ChatGPT responds, I can describe the imagery and symbols shown, but I can't identify who the person is. The image depicts a man dressed in elaborate ancient Egyptian style regalia. Key features include the crown symbolism, a red orb topped with an 8-pointed star sits above 2 upward curving silver crescent shapes. Curving silver crescent shape. Side note, this image here is what I'm starting to break down. It's called an octagonal. In the Kabbalah, the 8-pointed star, often formed by 2 interlocking squares, symbolizes the integration of opposites and is associated with the Sephirah of Had, which represent the splendor, communication, and intelligence. This star reflects the balance between the earthly and the eternal, embodying things of regeneration and spiritual growth. Source, growth. Go. Had in Hebrew, literally majesty and splendor, glory, is the 8th Sephirah of the Kabbalistic tree of life. It is positioned on the left side of the tree beneath Guvara, severity, and directly opposite Nizak, eternity. Had is associated with qualities such as submission, humility, and intellectual rigor. It represents the capability to comprehend and articulate divine truth, balancing the emotive and instinctual energies of Netzach. This balance is crucial for maintaining the flow of divine energy through the Sephiroth and manifesting it in the material world. Had is also linked to the planet Mercury and the Archangel Michael in Western esoteric traditions. Example of the Had. Round it up a little bit. So here you see the number. Go back. All right, you see the number 8, and you see what color it is orange. Same color that York got up here, the orange ball. All right, this is just showing you that everything he's doing is intentional. All right, so over here, Had represent magnificent and majesty. All right, so we keep going. Side note, this supports the fact that Mr. York called himself Michael. Remember, up here, They said Hard is also linked to the planet Mercury and the Archangel Michael. So here you can see that York, again, is a Kabbalist. Just like these hand signs he's doing, none of this stuff is nowhere near in these places that he was teaching. York is an undercover black Jewish Kabbalist. All right? Hard is said to be the spear in which the magician mostly works. An example is given by occultist and author Dion Fortune in the mystical Kabbalah. In 777, Aleister Crowley associates Hard to the 4 eights of occult tarot, among these being Anubis, Thoth, Hanuman, Loki, Hermes, Mercury, Jackal, Hermaphrodite, Opal, Storax, and Quicksilver. Not a complete list. Side note, Mr. York had images drawn of Anubis, Thoth, Tahuti, and Mr. York taught his followers to worship and honor hermaphrodites called homosexuals, aka homosexuals. All right. They got a picture of Anubis, and there's a book of prayers that York put out in his ancient mystic order, or ancient Egyptian order, my bad. All right. He goes York's slaves dressing up as Anubis in Brooklyn. And this is a picture of Thoth. See, all of this is Kabbalah. All of this. Sabian the Wapians dressing as Anubis and York picture of Thoth. We already have shown that Sabian the Wapians worship and commit homosexual rituals with 4 adults and a child according to their own doctrine. All right, there's a video you can go to where they talk about the first people on the planet were gays, and they so happy and giddy in this video. You can find this on my wife's page, Kim and Mira Marsha, Taboon Uno Net Nupu's YouTube. All right. The scroll of eyes. Okay, you got the Ankh staff in his left hand is a golden staff with an Ankh, a classic Egyptian sign of life force. Rod in right hand. In the right hand, he holds a rod-like object decorated with 7 black eyes, likely referring to the 7 eyes of light connected to the 7 orbs of 7 Elohim. So overall, this image is richly depicting a cosmic high priest or deity from blending the Egyptian motif with astral symbology, sun, moon, 7 eyes. And the Ankh, it expresses mental rulership, universal balance, and solar authority. Tar responds, what can you find on the scroll of eyes? Anything in the Kabbalah or other Jewish writing? ChatGPT responds, excellent question. Yes, the scroll of eyes or imagery of multiple eyes upon an object has significant precedent in Jewish mystical literature, particularly within the Kabbalah, the Hebrew Bible, and related apocryphal writing. Here's a detailed explanation. Now, when York was out, I was on the land one time and he was teaching about this. He was saying he had something called a scroll of eyes, but he was like, I don't think y'all ready for that yet. And he never put it out. But y'all finna understand why. All right. Side note, remember 7 is Tahuti's number. The number 7 holds specific significance in ancient Egypt culture. It is often associated with completeness and perfection. In the context of thought, the number 7 can be linked to various aspects of timekeeping and the lunar calendar. Lunar phase, the moon goes through approximately 7 distinct phases in a cycle which were important for agriculture and religious practice. Days of the week, the Egyptians had a 7-day week, which is influenced by lunar cycles. Biblical roots, the eyes of Yahweh. The motive originates from the Tanakh Old Testament, Zechariah 3:9. For behold, the stone that I have set before Joshua, upon one stone are 7 eyes. Zechariah 4:10. These 7 are the eyes of the Lord, which run to and fro through the whole earth. Here, 7 eyes represent divine omniscience, the total awareness of God observing all creation. The stone with 7 eyes is later reinterpreted, in Kabbalistic literature as a mystical vessel of vision, a Sephirotic lens that channels divine intelligence. 2, Kabbalistic interpretation. In Kabbalah, the 7 eyes correspond to the 7 Lord Sephiroth, emanations of divine power flowing through the tree of life. In Kabbalah, the 7 eyes correspond to 7 Lord Sephiroth, emanation of divine power flowing through the tree of life. All right, I correspond to Sephiroth. 1 is Chesed, mercy, and love and forget. Remember, that's the moon god. Deal with mercy. Gavora, judgment and strength. Tiferet, harmony and beauty. Netzach, victory and endurance. Pause, intellect. Yesod, foundation generation. Malchut, kingdom manifestation. Thus, a scroll or rod bearing 7 eyes could symbolize the whole Lord creation observed and animated by divine light, the living awareness of the Sephiroth. The Zoharic reference. In the Zohar, especially the Zohar 2:42b to 43a, eyes are linked to the Chokmah wisdom as the eye that sees all. York put out a book called Lukeman, who was a minor prophet. And Lukeman, I think his book was called The Wisdom. And you can find that in some of his older books. And he mentioned it in El's Holy NGL as well. All right, the 7 palaces of Hikahalet, where each palace is guarded by an eye of fire. Metatron, the prince of the countenance, described as having myriad eyes like flashes of lightning, symbolizing total perception and vigilance. Thus, in Jewish mysticism, a scroll of eyes would not be literal parchment, but a metaphor for a vessel or instrument of divine watchfulness, something imbued with consciousness or revelation. The Merkava and the Ophanim. In Ezekiel 1:18, the wheels of the divine chariot are full of eyes round about. The Kabbalists later linked these eyes within wheels to the cycle of cosmic awareness, the watching force of the heavens, angels, and orbs, and later mystical diagrams, 7 eyes upon a rod or tablet often appear as microcosmic symbol. The rod of knowledge held by Metatron or the shepherd of the 7 eyes. See Zohar 3:249b. GPT responds, would you like me to show the Lurianic chart of how those 7 kings of Edom in Genesis 36 map to the lower Sephiroth in both the eye of in both the holy and cliphartic trees? I need y'all to mute y'all joint real quick, y'all, because it's giving me feedback. Thanks. The way you can later decide for yourself. No. Okay, would you like me to show how the Lurianic chart or how those 7 kings of Edom? Okay, we read that. So you can see the structure mirror. Tar responds, not yet. Being Mr. York is using this symbolism of Kabbalah and religion it has to be opposites and negatives. What I would like for you to look at the Cliffloff tree of death and Mr. York's crimes and align them with those. Thank you. ChatGPT responds, I can absolutely outline that without applying it to a named individual. That way you can later decide for yourself if you think certain behaviors or events fit those symbolic patterns. Would you like me to present a neutral chart showing how each of the 7 lower cliphartic spheres represent a specific kind of corruption, cruelty, deceit, lust, tyranny, and how those distort genuine spiritual principles? Tar's response, fair enough. How about I list some crimes and you place them on the tree of death for education purposes? Child sex abuse convicted of multiple counts involving the sexual abuse of minors, including children of followers. Racketeering violated the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organization Act RICO. Conspiracy engaged in conspiratorial activities related to his criminal enterprise. Tax fraud involved in fraudulent activities concerning taxes. ChatGPT, good. This will let us explore how each form of wrongdoing corresponds to a cliphartic sphere, meaning the spiritual inversion of a divine attribute on the tree of life. Below is a neutral symbolic alignment used in the Kabbalistic study circles when analyzing moral decay or ethical corruption. All right, so the first one, crime, moral corruption on the tree of death, is ruling archdemon is energy. Distorted virtue, tree of life counterpart, symbolic explanation. Child sex abuse under Gamaliel. All right, I think York has a picture drawn of Gamaliel. Liel supposed to have been a teacher of Paul or something like that in the Holy Tablets. I got his picture. All right, cliff off of Lilith, yes, distorted. The ruling archdemon energy is Lilith. That was a so-called Adam's first wife who was real sexual. Distorted virtue, Yesar foundation is sexual purity and generative life. Yesar governs sexual energy as the foundation of creative life. In its holy form, it channels life force towards love, creation, and continuity. Its cliphotic inversion, Gamaliel, represent lust, divorce from spirit, exploitation, and perversion of innocence. Okay, that's it for that. Go to the next one, Rakatan, Rico. In the cliphotic spirit is the Arab, Zarak, the cliphot of Netzach. The demon over that is Baal, all right, which means Lord and all that. You had pictures of Baal or Baal in his books as well, a storm god at that, all right, which we know that's another name for Tahuti. It's Set. Netzach, victory, endurance, leadership. Netzach represent legitimate leadership, endurance, and triumph through moral strategy. When corrupted, it becomes domination, greed, and manipulation of others for material power. Rakatan aligns with this energy of victory through corruption and coercion. Conspiracy, deceptive, coordination. Samael, that's the demon, the cliff of heart. Samael or Adramelech. Hard, splendor, intellect, communication. Hard governs intellect, communication, and truthful reasoning. In the cliff-off, it becomes deceit, cunning, speech, and manipulation. Conspiracy, coordinated deceit for power, fits the distortion of Hart's mental brilliance into cunning and falsehood. The last one, tax fraud, deceptive gain and theft. Nahemoth, the cliff-ath of Malkut, the demon over that is Nama. All right, and I think Nama is in the Holy Tablets or else Holy Torah. I think that was a wife of Noah. I have to double back on that. All right, Malhut, kingdom of law, manifest order. Malkut governs material, reality, and just order. When inverted, it becomes Nahemoth, corruption of the material world through greed, theft, and manipulation of systems. Tax fraud exemplified the subversion of rightful law and economic justice. Symbolic analysis. Together, these behaviors occupy the lower four cliphotic spheres, reflecting corruption of sex, yasa, will, nizak, speech, heart, and action, malchut. In Kabbalistic psychology, this represents a fall through the lower worlds, from mental deceit, heart, to physical corruption, malchut, all fueled by distorted sexual energy, yasad. It's considered a collapse of the microcosmic tree of life within the individual, replaced by the tree of death, where divine forces are inverted. Miss York was involved, this me talking, was involved in various Masonic orders and Islamic Sufism. Maybe it's something there. Chat GPT responds, I did some searching in the fields of both Masonic esoteric symbolism and Sufi Islamic mysticism, and I found some interesting threads, but no definitive mainstream source. I could locate that says explicitly in Masonic or Sufi tradition, the seven eyes are used negatively as a cliff-off type corruption. Here's what I found, what it suggests, and what the gap remains. What I found in Masonic esoteric context, there is a document titled "The KABBALAH Unveiled" concerning the eyes of the prosopis via Universal Freemasonry site, which states, from those colors go forth seven eyes of providence, which issue from the black of the eye. This is what is said in Zechariah 3:9. Upon one stone, seven eyes, universal co-masonry. This text ties the seven eyes directly to esoteric occult exegesis in a Masonic type of Kabbalistic esoteric context. Charles Spawn. I did some research into this eyes of the micro prosperous text, and this is what I found. And when the lower eyelashes are separated from the upper and discloses the abode of vision, then are the eyes open in the same manner as when one awakens from sleep. Then are the eyes rolled around, and the micro prosopis looketh back upon the open eye of the macro prosopis, and they are bathed in his white brilliance. And when they are thus whitened, the lords of the judgments are turned aside from the Israelites. And therefore it is written, Psalms 20 something something 24, awake. I think this is 44. Psalms 44:24, awake, wherefore sleepest thou, O tetragrammaton, make haste. Four colors appear in those eyes from which shine the four coverings, or the phylacteries, which shine through the emanation of the brain. 7, which are called the eyes of the tetragrammaton, and the inspection proceeds from the black color of the eye, as we have said. As it is written, Zechariah 3:9, upon one stone, 7 eyes, and these colors flame forth on this side. From the red go forth others, the laws of examination for judgment, and these are called the eyes of the tetragrammaton going forth throughout the whole earth. End quote. Todd's response. In this text, it speaks about the 4 horses of the apocalypse, which are the same in the book of Revelation. These are symbolic of the 4 orbs of planets and our moon. However, Mr. York spoke about the tetragrammaton in his plagiarized spell book of low-key Kabbalah called El's Holy Torah. All right, so I went and took this out the Torah, and it says, in Babylon, Yahuwah meant yea good and way evil. There were 24 Yahwehs or elders stated in the Bible. The head Elohim is called Yahuwah or Yahweh. Moses went up to the mountain and spoke with Yahuwah in Exodus 19:3. It stated Moses went up unto God the Elohim, and the Lord Yahuwah called unto him out of the mountain, clearly making a distinction between Elohim and Yahuwah. We know this is a lie. We know that the true Moses was Achmos, the first of the 18th dynasty, the first ruler of the 18th dynasty, and he the one that whipped the Jews and ran them up out of Kemet back to Asia, and some stopped off in Palestine, and the rest is history. So this whole thing is a lie, and if York had real knowledge, he would never put that there. So here he took the symbol of Yahweh, or Yahuwah rather, and then made the symbol and showed the image of a man. I used to wonder where did York get this from many, many years ago when I first started reading it. All right. Side note, remember the Talmud was written under Babylonian magic and other deviant sources, and the Kabbalah was also pre-Babylon, but it is the behind the face to conceal the true power. So Babylon gets blamed as the source of evil, where they so-called brought it from there. However, Mr. York took this image from a book called the Sefer Yetzirah and did not cite where he got this from in his book, El's Holy Torah. So you see, you got the same image up here, right? But then look, it's the same image right here. You'll find this in the book I just talked about. This is called the Adam Cadman, or the primordial man, symbolize the juxtaposition of the 4 elements of the tetragrammaton to form the likeness of a human figure. The figure is colored to permit visualization of the corresponding with the tree of life and the supernal triangles. Chat GPT continues. The human form symbolism in the Kabbalistic and mystical diagrams, these 4 letters were sometimes arranged vertically to depict the divine name as a human form, a representation of the cosmic man, Adam Cadman, who embodies all levels of divine emanation, which is all lies. That means Yod, head, crown, wheel, Keter, some say Keter, Heth, upper, torso, understanding, Benda, Vab, central body, beauty, Tiferet, hair, final, lower body, foundation, kingdom, Malakut. All right, this structure shows how the tetragrammaton unfolds from pure idea to concrete world. Origin. This anthropomorphic use of the letters goes back to the Kabbalistic writings on Adam Cadman in the Zohar and the Lurianic Kabbalah, where the divine form is described as a man composed of the 10 Sephirah. Some Sefer Yetzirah commentaries associate with the letters of Yahweh with spatial directions and human anatomy. Later mystics and even Renaissance Kabbalists, including Christian ones like Pico della Mirandola and Ruculin, drew literal man diagrams mapping the divine name onto the human figure. So yes, Mr. York shows that on that page is loosely based on authentic Kabbalistic anthropomorphism, but simplified and stylized. The meaning behind it is to unfolding of divine energy from invisible source, Yod down into manifest human form, final head, turning the name of God into the image of a complete being. So here you can see the image complete. We got a human being on this side, and then they get the Hebrew letters on this side. So this is solving a mystery that's been in your books since '96. He never said where he got this from. He just threw it in there and kept writing. All right, so that's the end of my presentation. I want to hear what the Kens got to say. All right, so let's hear what everybody got to say. Nebo, I'm gonna call you so you can just say what
Yeah,
you
that right there is revealing, because that I had no indication or um I would say signal that directed these symbols. You know, you watch them or you see them, and I didn't read into them too heavy. And when it comes out to be more symbols and elements and being taken and used for to build up whatever he was building, a bunch of more mystery and confusion. It's a shame, you know. It's a shame that people that really fell for it and the ones that's still in it and can't get out of it, because it's a real spell, and this is the deepest spell. This spell right here is the final spell. This spell right here, I think, encapsulates the spell with Christians on with Christians. This right here, because this is the spell on us. You know what I mean? And him coming at that time to conflict and cause friction against Alpha Uno around the same time, it shows you how powerful this information is, and gets into the wrong hands. Um, I mean, we're not going to see this again. This was the last, the last heavy attempt at someone coming in between you, your mind, and Nupu. Now you just have to get the information, and what we do together, you know, we're harmonizing nine ether. You know, we're harmonizing with the sun laws on what we need to do next, and by doing that, it's not I'm not interfering with your expression of Nupu. You see what I'm saying? You have an expression, I have an expression. We all harmonize, and it becomes one. The conflicting, when you have people interjecting and people coming into it and interjecting old myths and other stuff that is not aligned with the information, this is what you're going to get, and it spawns out. And I can understand our people are under the spell, because when they bring in Kemet into the mix, we get very intrigued, extremely, because that's our home. You know what I'm saying? So when someone comes with this information and they're throwing lines like that, like you were saying, 9 to the ninth power, 9, it makes you feel supreme. And then they're bringing in Kemet elements. You know what I mean? But you don't know what's behind that sun disk. You don't know what that really represents. You know what I mean? The deity, what it represents now in this state, in this time. It's not what you think. And that's what we're here to do, is trying to get all that straightened out. Once you have the intelligence and you breathe in this information, it takes a while for the brain news to start settling in. But once they do, you will get it. It's going to take a minute. It's not an over. This information is highly dense. That's why York got it, and he didn't know what, you know. It blew his mind. You know what I mean? So definitely, if you're not aligned right, this will blow your mind. People went crazy over this stuff, especially the way he brought it in, because he's really, that's Zupu. That's what it. Whew, I'm out, y'all. True peace.
True peace. You ready? Go ahead. Go ahead, Nebo.
Oh, okay. True peace, Kens and friends. I am Nebo Weunu Nupu, proud member of New Science, proud Nunibu. Basically, this information is more powerful and mind-boggling, just knowing that there's the whole spiritual system came from the Kabbalah, which is crazy within itself. Yeah, but for the most part, know for sure that the newcomers can start with a clean slate and get this true information and to see what has been done. Is we had already been put under a spell, you know what I'm saying, from the Jews, and then he come along and do the same thing even further, introducing us the same spell that the Jews put on us the first time, which that's a dummy whammy and a slap in the face from the negative spirits. And Nupu is about to get that straight, clear it out, flush it out, all the waste, and this information is going to continue to flow. True peace.
All right, true peace. All right, Anoop, what you got? What you got going on? We can't hear you, Ken. Let's see. Hold on. He might have. See if he unmuted. Is he muted? Nah, he might have went to sleep. Hold on.
Man, Chrome be fronting. It be acting up a lot. I don't know what's going on, but Chrome been acting silly because I see his input. I see his mic moving, but it ain't kicking through. He may got to step out and come back in.
All right, he's having he gonna go out and come back in. So we're gonna give him a minute so he can give his 9 cents, and then we'll close on out for the night. So, but yeah, that right there, just doing the finishing touches, because I started working on this one last night when I was in the bed, and I went through that, and I had laid everything out with the chat, and then I just got up early this morning and finished it when I was at work. I went to work early, so I took that time, worked through it, and put it all together. And so I wanted to, drop 2 back to back.
Yes.
I want to keep it. I want to, there's going to be more stuff coming out destroying the African covered KABBALAH doctrine, moon coat at that. And we just gonna, because we have to now expose. That's how you break a spell, by exposing it.
Yep.
That's one of the things you have to do. You have to expose the actual part, because a lot of that stuff. Because remember, like the nature books say, the spirit works off of ignorance that's in the mind, and another word for ignorance and noon is mystery, and you're big on mystery. And so when you give them a little bit and a whole lot of nothing, it grows, and until it's like watching a magic trick to somebody show you how it's done. You'd be like, oh, I thought that was real magic. So what we're doing is we're exposing the magician. And the way you do that is, like you said, I already know most of, now that I found out what his source of power comes from and information, now it's nothing that the Wapians ever did is safe, because they don't realize what he did to them. And that's unfortunate. So just exposing that should make people think 9 times now before they run out there and catfishing for York.
There's no excuse. Right now, If you're still doing it, that means you still have no self-control. You're still being guided by a physical person here. Um, and you really don't need to. You see what I mean? You don't need to. Um, you have all the tools right now in your mind. It's right there. All you have to do is look for the information and gather yourself together. There are laws that were in place, they're still in place. Those some laws are still in place. And it's important that you get the right information and guide yourself. That's it. You just have these books and yourself, and you sound right reason. And it's good to
Okay.
harmonize, because harmonizing with each other helps strengthen each other, correct each other, self-correct each other. And like Anu said, we're expressions of Nupu, right? So we have um, information that we share amongst each other, different from a different view, but it's the same. It's coming from the same stream, right? It's coming from that nine ether stream, or Nupu is coming from that same stream. Is just being expressed from one of the billion perspectives of Nupu. 144,000 perspective of Nupu, I should say, I think, right?
Okay. Anupu, Anuta's there. You there, Ken? You can. We see you.
I don't know if y'all can hear me now.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go
You're
ahead.
clear.
Y'all can hear me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're clear.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what was going on. No, I was just saying I don't know what was going on, but all right.
I had just finished my piece. That's all.
So yeah, I thought that was like I said, an excellent show. It goes to show you how much magic is being used on the people using yeah, y'all can y'all can't. Does it sound clear on my end,
Nah, you cut out again.
or
You
is
cut
it
out. It was clear for a
like a
second.
lag or a delay?
Yeah, you got lag. That's right.
I feel like there's a lag or a delay going on.
Yeah, you definitely have lag right now. What? How many bars you on?
Y'all, y'all hearing me?
Nah, he can't hear us. He can't hear us, Tar.
I don't
Call him
know.
up
It's
on the
like this
phone. Let's
this
hit him
thing.
up on the jack, Tar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's lagging and it's catching up.
Yeah, I'm hearing everything y'all saying. It's just y'all can't hear me.
Yeah, just go ahead. I got you on the speakerphone.
All right, no problem. I was gonna say, oh, yeah, I was saying that it goes to show you the magic that's being used and the symbols and things of that nature. And we have to understand that these geometric shapes, these different sigils, and it's not just York. It's the clothing that we wear. It's the symbolism and everything that we see every day. It's the stores we shop in. It's the we see this. Some of us who follow like the what they call it, the conspiracy theory stuff, where it's like you see the CBS symbol and the NBC peacock and all these different things. Those are different symbols that are used to control the minds of people, because those geometric symbols cause that type of frequency in the minds of the people. And York, whether he knew it or not, that's how the gods empower people by when you use their symbols. That's why, when we're talking about the Bible interpretations, we talk about the cross, we talk about the trident, we talk about the Shakti. All of these different symbols have power within them. We just look at it like it's just a geometric symbol. No, it's orchestrated and put together in that kind of way in order to control the minds of the people, and that's why the Nawapian cult is so strong as far as the spell is concerned, is because York used some of the most potent symbols that you could think of. How can like the last live stream? How can a high school ninth grade dropout? And I'm not saying that to say that the Caucasian system is a well-educated system, but what we're saying is, how can someone who don't even have a basic proper education can come and have that strong of a spell over the people? You can't do it just by using regular religion, things like that. You have to use a higher form of science with Madame Blavatsky and all these witches and warlocks, that they don't dress like it. And it's the same thing that's happening today. You got a lot of witches and warlocks. Look at Bill Gates. Bill Gates is a warlock. How do we know that? He's tampering with vaccines, right? These warlocks wear lab coats. These warlocks wear glasses. They wear suits, things like that. They don't look like your cartoon warlock that wear these these fantastic looking things. You understand what I'm saying? Bill Gates played with the vaccine. You got Fauci. Fauci's another one playing with the medicine. These are warlocks. They put people under tremendous spells. Look at Elon Musk. He's looking to put a Neuralink in your chip in your brain. Look at Peter Thiel and these guys with Palantir. These are warlocks and witches and people who you're looking at them as they're regular people, but they change the way they look. The same way Abraun said these gods change their names, and they do change their names. You understand what I'm saying? Later on, if evolution was allowed to go further down, then the name of the gods would change the names like Elon and Donald Trump and things like that. Instead of reading it like Ra and all of these different names, they would read like Donald Trump and Elon and Bill Gates. You'll start seeing names like that being named for these particular gods, because they are the ones that are running the planet right now. You understand what I'm saying? So it's very important. It's not just the York spell. It's the religious spell. It's the capitalism spell. It's the whatever ism spell, communism. I don't care. Socialism. It does not matter. These are the ruling powers on the planet that use sigils, numbers, geometric shapes, all of those things. You got to break the spell. And that's the only way that we're going to get to the other side. Okay, so I don't want to be too long-winded. The Ken did an amazing job once again. I loved every minute of it. Though I was tired, I made sure I stayed up for the beatings and the proceedings this evening. So, true peace to all the Kens, all the noble Kens on the panel, and true peace to anybody out there. Just my message to everyone, as in every episode, is the greatest gift that you can give another kin or friend is liberation information, and the best liberation information and knowledge out there is noon. So please like, share, subscribe. Go to the website, snowponoon.com and fine9news.com. The books are there. Make sure you read the Bible interpretations, the 9-ball counts if you need explanations. And if you can't read or you have trouble reading, you can always go to Todd's page. This page right here, you'll get the first series, Bible interpretations there, and a little bit of the 9-ball, and the continuation of the 9-ball on my page, Anupu Nupu. All right, so that's my message for the evening, and true peace to all the Kens and friends.
All right. Did Nebu spoke already? No. Okay.
No, he hasn't spoke yet.
All right. Let me put him on real quick. Yeah, we gotta work around all this ritual grizzly.
True peace, Ken. I had spoke. I don't know if you could hear me the first time I spoke, but
Did you speak on this one though?
True peace, Kens and friends. Ray Uno Noon Nupu, proud member of Noon Science. Proud Noonibu. Nupu that was given to us by way of Alpha Uno, our true messenger of Nuwapu. Not that Nuwabian nonsense that York distorted. I just like to add that it was a double whammy as far as how everything was done. First we was placed under a spell from the Jews, and then here York come along and use that same information that the Jews used to put us under a deeper spell, and I mean introduce all the sigils and symbolism, which go back to what Anu said. I mean, that was a double whammy, a slap in the face of just being played with spiritually, which their time is up, and now this information is here to knock them off the planet and remove all waste and allow Nupu to nourish the minds, develop that nine mind, so forth, and take it from there. And most definitely prepare for their liberation. True peace.
All right, everybody. We had a nice roll around tonight. We're finna let everybody relax and get their rest on, and we'll see y'all